Hi there, Chris from TotallyEV, and here I'm doing a dedicated audio review of the Jeep Avenger. If you want a detailed review of the vehicle itself, make sure you check it up on your pop-up banner, down the description below, or indeed in the pinned comments. Now to kick off this video, I would like to talk about its audio configuration. And at the time of filming and in the UK, it's available in 3 different trim levels. However, all of them house the same 6-speaker audio system. You have got drivers that are found within each of the 4 doors and tweeters that are found within the A-pillars. If I get some extra information from the manufacturer when it comes to driver sizes and wattage, I'll make sure I'll pop it down in the description below or indeed include it in my detailed written review. Now for you to tinker around with the audio drivers, you want to navigate on the 10.25 infotainment system. And here via the sound tab, you will find a treble, mid and bass adjustment, which is very much appreciated. You also have a neutral and dynamic preset. Now I've actually selected the dynamic preset, added 1 notch to treble, left the mid-range untouched and taken a few notches off bass. Of course, this is all very subjective, so make sure you share your own EQ down the comment section below, at least if you do own the Jeep Avenger. Now for you to connect up to the infotainment system, it is quite a shame that you only have the SBC codec over Bluetooth, which is the lowest quality that you can have, and therefore you're not exactly going to get the best sort of transmission data. However, it is good to see that you have both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which are supported over a wired and wireless transmission. Next up, we get onto cabin noise, and here the objective measurements that were recorded by ourselves using a sound meter will be on your screen. Now subjectively, what I will say is that when traversing on uneven terrain and at slightly higher speeds, I did notice quite a bit of low-end resonance, which is actually quite a shame. And that is due to the fact of the overall insulating material that has not really been used within the Jeep Avenger, and also due to its slightly stiffened suspension setup. Still, it's not too bad in the grand scheme of things, but it's just worth bearing in mind. Furthermore, if you're going to go on more flatter surfaces, for example on the motorway, you will be able to hear a little bit of wind deflecting off the A-pillars and the wing mirrors and road noise creeping in from the tyres. Now with all that said and done, let's get on to an audio demo. And I'll be playing back a track which is titled Like Me from Priya J and placing the camera and the microphone in 4 separate locations. Now I do appreciate an audio demo over YouTube is not exactly ideal, specifically using my microphones. But nonetheless, it was worth having a little taster of it, so that you can actually hear it for yourself. Now in terms of my own subjective opinion, as someone who's reviewed over around 100 different audio systems, I can say that I was left a little bit disheartened. Now let me expand. First off, in terms of the overall sub-bass experience, it is cut short, and that's due to the fact that you do not have a subwoofer. Sure enough, the woofer drivers that are positioned within each of the doors do a decent job of trying to give you that bit of a low-end oomph, but it doesn't exactly compete with vehicles that do actually have a physical driver in the boot, or even underneath the front 2 seats. Now as for the mid-bass, the same could be said. There is plenty of quantity here, and so much so that I actually reduced a few notches via the infotainment system, but here in terms of the overall quality, I do feel it's a little bit lacking. Specifically over here, when you're cranking up the volume, you might actually be able to hear a little bit of rattle, which is never appreciated. As for the overall mid-range, it is quite pushed back and recessed. Now you might be quick to say, why didn't you adjust it on the infotainment system and therefore crank up the mids? And that's because when I did do so, it just took away from the overall accuracy, and therefore meant that I just had to accept that there was a somewhat V-shaped sound signature, and the vocals, both male and female, were pushed back. On the flip side, at the front of the cabin, the highs do extend relatively well, and that's namely due to the fact that you have got those dedicated tweeters within the A-pillars. At the rear, the same couldn't be said because you do not have any extra tweeters. Now, what did really throw me off is this overall soundstage reproduction, which just feels a little bit off to my ears. The best way to explain it is almost like you have a Dolby Pro Logic or a Dolby Atmos effect that's been enabled and maxed out, or for example, a movie or theater mode. And while this can be appreciated in certain instances, a lot of people who come to listen to their music, be it via earphones, headphones, hi-fi systems, or other vehicles, will quickly feel that the audio reproduction within the Jeep Avenger just feels a bit weird and off. Now, it's a shame that the manufacturer does not also provide you the means of adjusting said effect via the infotainment system, a surround mode EQ, or enabling or disabling a certain surround algorithm would have been appreciated. Now, on the flip side, instrument separation is not too shabby, at least at the front of the cabin, due to the fact that you have got those dedicated tweeters. However, at the rear of the cabin, it does feel a little bit lackluster. Ultimately, what I'm trying to portray over here is that the audio system that comes fitted as standard in the Jeep Avenger is not that great, and unfortunately will feel a little bit odd for those people who are accustomed to listening to their favorite tracks, or indeed listening to podcasts, or even just listening to regular radio. Now, I'd be curious to know what you make of the 6-speaker audio system within the Jeep Avenger down in the comment section below, and of course, if you want some other alternative EVs in this space, make sure you check out the description where I've reviewed some of the alternatives out there. Now, if you have enjoyed this detailed independent audio review, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Chris from TotallyEV, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.